Good afternoon, everyone. We've already started with a great discussion. So this is a session organized by the internal committee of Bansanga's SM Shetty College, Powai. It is our duty as the internal cell to make sure that we maintain a safe campus, and the campus, as we have known in the last 2 years, is more than just the physical campus. It extends out perhaps even to homes and most certainly the cyber world. So it has been our effort. In fact, the IC has every year managed to do at least one session on cyber safety. It is also now a NAC requirement that we educate ourselves, our students, and all our stakeholders in matters of cyber safety. So keeping this in view, we have organized this session today. Welcome Principal Sir, Vice Principals, our external member of the IC, Vibha Singh ma'am, my colleagues in the IC, students, so great to see all of you here, but most importantly, our guest who has taken valuable time out from his schedule, Dr. Gaurav Gupta, to join us here. Thank you all for being here, and I'd like Principal Sir to say a few words before we begin the session.
Thank you, Nina Sharma. Good afternoon, everyone. Our esteemed guest today and also the resource person, Dr. Gaurav Gupta, Cyber Law and Electronics Security Division, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, and also a scientist. Vice Principals, Dr. Liji Santosh and Professor Sandesh Shetty. And our Vice Principal Junior College has also joined Ms. Pratibha Gadgali, and the entire team of IC of the college, headed by Professor Nina Sharma, Mr. Hamid Khan, Mrs. Himani Shukla, and our guide, Vibha Singh, and our librarian, Smita. Dear students, I extend a cordial welcome to our resource person today, Dr. Gaurav Gupta. In spite of your busy schedule, you have taken the time out and to address our students. We are grateful to you, sir. Now, coming to today's topic, cyber unsafe. It's very timely and quite apt in the present situation. And I do not have much knowledge about that. I want to listen to Guptaji today because this is a new body of knowledge. And the old conventional laws, I think, may not deal adequately about all these things. And how to come out from all these things and how to deal such things. All these things, I think, these things are going to be covered in today's webinar. So therefore, today we are listening to a specialized body of knowledge regarding its enforcement, legal provisions, etc., etc. I appreciate the IC of the college, Internal Complaints Committee of the college, for taking this initiative. And I know that we are doing many such webinars, seminars for the knowledge of our students. So this webinar definitely will orient our students, our faculty about the cyber unsafe. I think at the end of the session, definitely we will have quite enriching knowledge about this new area. So I wish this function quite enriching and a successful one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Without taking too much time, we'd like to start with the session. But before I do that, I'd like to introduce our esteemed guest, our resource person of the day, Dr. Gaurav Gupta. Dr. Gaurav Gupta is the first Indian to earn a doctorate in the field of digital forensics. He was bestowed with the Young Scientist Award of the Indian Science Congress in 2010 by the man of science, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. Gupta is on a mission to create awareness about technological frauds in society. He has been a mentor and guide to many research students and interns. He has a rich experience of 20 years He has worked at KPMG and served as a faculty member at Indraprastha Institute of Information Technology, Delhi. He is currently an additional director with the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. He has delivered over 100 talks, including keynotes, and has published more than 50 technical research papers. Dr. Gupta serves as a vice chair at the IFIP Working Group 11.9 on digital forensics of International Federation for Information Processing. As an active researcher in this field, he has developed many state-of-the-art and effective digital forensic solutions. Dr. Gupta, welcome once again, and the session is yours.
Thank you so much. I hope you can see my screen and can hear me well.
We can hear you well, and yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so I would like to request everybody to be a little interactive, and I will talk about something which is some impact all of us. We live in the world where each and every activity is some way or other dependent on digital technology. We can't starting from ordering food to taking classes to booking a ticket, everything is today dependent. Even though we might not be using digital technology, the power which is coming to us through power grid, that is controlled by connected computers, and there might be attacks by some players. We have seen in past that people have tried to attack grids, people have tried to attack critical infrastructure of the country, and so on. So directly or indirectly we are dependent on digital technology, and there will be attempts invariably by unlawful people, spurious people, people who want to misuse technology to do attack on all of us. Now, as individual there will be attacks, as a society and a group of people there will be attacks, and as a country we will also face some attacks. So today's talk is to tell you that we can be cyber safe instead of cyber unsafe by taking very small precautions, by contributing as a individual stakeholder towards the cyber safety of our society and our country. So that is what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, let me move forward. What can you see on your screen? There is something on screen, and I would ask, can somebody tell me about whether these are valid sites, whether there is any risk associated with any one of them? Which one is not fine? Can you respond by typing in chat probably? Out of these 5, which websites you think are not fine? Or all of them are fine? Anyone? According to me, some of them are definitely fine, and some of them are definitely not fine also. I don't know whether people can type in chat, ma'am. You can
The
enable
first one
chat.
feels little suspicious.
First one seems suspicious. Okay. What about others?
The fourth one
Is good or not good?
is good. I mean, ONGC. Yes, it's good.
Okay. Fine. So let me.
The fourth one is OGNC. I've not heard about it. ONGC we have heard.
Okay. Now let's go one by one. The first one is a valid site, is non-risky site. It is like Flipkart of Russia. So it's a shopping website of Russia, very famous one, and it's perfectly all right. The second one is not right. It's not yahoo.com. It looks like yahoo.com. It is actually yah00.com. The criminals exploit our eyes' incapability to differentiate between 0 and O. Third one is definitely sb1.co.in. It is not SBI. Easy to detect. The fourth one, many people thought this is ONGC. It is not ONGC. This is OGNC. People are still using these kind of interplay of language which can deceive our eyes. The last one is not Google. It is g00gle.com. So most of these sites are fraudulent, second to fourth, fifth. Only the first one is right. And what is happening here is our eyes' incapability to differentiate between O and 0, 1 and I, E and F at times, and so on are being exploited.
11 batches.
Right. So I'll go forward and discuss few more things before I come back and explain what's happening here. Now, can you tell me what makes cybercrime possible for criminals? Why do cybercrimes happen? Who makes them possible? What is the reason? Who makes it possible for them?
We only.
We only, right? Absolutely. What else? There could be multiple correct answers, right?
Yes.
Exactly. It is us, cyberspace users. We are not aware. We are not careful. We are not taking all the precautions. Reason is, it's like a foggy, foggy winter morning when you can't see people around you when you are driving. You think there is nobody on the road. It's not true. Similarly, when we are on information technology super highway, we think we can't see anyone else. We are using computer, internet, and we can't see people around, but people can see us. There are a lot of people on internet, and there they are trying to do fraud, but we don't see anybody. That's where we let our guards down. We are not careful enough. We don't understand how criminals might be doing fraud. We don't even talk about it, and that's where these frauds happen to us. And again, I'll come back and explain these things. One more reason, not rather one, there are many more reasons. One more reason is convergence of technologies to provide convenience. If you see, technological developments are happening to provide you convenience. What is happening is, we had landline phones, right? The problem was we were tied with wires. We could not take landline phone out on the road. So people started to make inroads, and feature phone was invented. Now you are removed wires and you can move around with your phone, and what a great. But people wanted more, right? They wanted to do few more activities which they were doing by some other devices. For example, 20 years back, you were carrying a handycam, a digital camera, a laptop, a calculator, a laptop, a digital diary when you were going for a holiday, a music device. So you were carrying 8, 10 different devices, each serving one purpose. But today, everything has converged together, came into a mobile phone. Your mobile phone is your music system. Your mobile phone is your handycam, its camera. It's your like a mini laptop. It is doing calculations. It is showing you. People are not wearing watch. It is your watch also, right? So a lot of technologies have converged. A lot of sensors has converged to become your mobile phone. But still, there are new developments which are happening because people want to put more things into mobile phone. They now want mobile phone to track your sleep cycle. They want mobile phone to do your ECG. They want mobile phone to know when you're walking, running, what exercise you are doing, and so on. So a mobile phone is the perfect example of convergence to provide convenience, but this is a gold mine for criminals. They want to get into your phone because once they can get onto your phone, they can compromise your phone. They can extract a lot of personal, official, and all kind of data about you. They know what you are doing. They can find out when you are sleeping, what is your activity, what are your preferences, and so on. So convergence of technology is providing new touch points, new attack vectors to criminals. Then one more thing which is strange, which is happening is, let me ask one more question. Is there anybody who is using a laptop with a CD and DVD drive? Do you have a laptop with a CD and DVD drive with you? Yes, no, anybody who is having?
No.
Anybody who has it?
No, sir.
Nobody? So I have one laptop which I bought 3 years back, which has a CD and DVD drive. And I see still some people have CD and DVD drives. Okay. Now, how often do you use pen drive today? So compared to one last year. So let's say 2019 versus 2021. Is your usage of pen drive gone up or gone low? What do you think?
Low, no.
Why? What is the reason? Instead of copying and carrying everything, you can now download it. You can attach it to yourself and you don't carry it in pen drive anymore. You just go wherever you wish and you download it what is required, right? So my laptop has 6 USB drive ports, but I am rather not using it. Why are those 6 drives? Because once upon a time you were using that many. Everything was connected through USB. Your printer is connected through USB, your USB drives, hard disk, external hard disk, everything was connected. How are we buying more external hard drives these days or no? Compared to 2 years back, we are buying less number of hard drives. Reason is we now use cloud. We get unlimited storage, very cheap storage in cloud environment. So what has happened is technology is changing so fast that our hardware is not keeping pace, right? So this rapid speed of change of technology, what it does is it creates big holes. For example, if I want to do crime, what I will do is I will buy latest iPhone. Can you tell me the reason why? Why would I buy latest iPhone if I'm a criminal? What is the reason? It's a very easy question. Criminal buy iPhones because they know the encryption is toughest to break. iPhone, because of their privacy policy, will not share their data with the law enforcement agencies. And forensic labs and forensic scientists who break and get data out of these devices, they take typically 6 months to 8 months to develop a solution. So if iPhone is launched in October, it will take time at least 6 to 8 months, which means April or May of next year, by which time they may get a solution to extract data out of iPhone. So it is very safe for criminals to use iPhone, assuming that their phone data cannot be extracted by anybody, including law enforcement agencies. And next year they will buy a new iPhone, which will come. So what is happening here is technology is changing so fast that every year a new iPhone with new capabilities, new sensor and better encryption is coming. And researchers are not getting time to solve these problems. So now what is required as a student and as an academician community, what we can do is, if we can anticipate what is going to be next iPhone features, what are the sensors which are going to be next iPhone, if we can anticipate, and because we can do research, we can find out what are the new sensors which may come into the iPhone next year. And if we start doing research beforehand, and if we develop a solutions to extract data out of these devices, extract data by bypassing encryption today, when the iPhone is launched or next generation devices are launched, we will have some headway, which means we can develop actual solution in within few months of launch of the phone. That is not happening. So the speed of change of technology is one more reason which is creating more problems, because companies are launching device without doing complete security testing because they are in hurry to launch their device. If iPhone has launched a new phone, Apple has launched a new iPhone, the Samsung has to launch equivalent phone, even though the testing might not have been done completely, because otherwise they will lose market share, they will lose reputation. So these things are real and happening. One more thing which makes us more vulnerable to computer frauds and cybercrime is we are not robots. If we were robots, most of the crimes will not happen against us because we will go by instructions. But since we are not robots, we are humans which have emotions. Our emotions are being manipulated, exploited by cyber criminals. And how do they do it? They use our emotion of trust, emotion of greed, panic, fear of missing out, threat, disruption. All of these are being misused by making stories. So as we were discussing that, there are a lot of creative ways of doing frauds. Criminal will call you saying that they are calling from the bank. Criminal will tell you that you have won a lottery, you have inherited something. All those things are happening. Now, you know why they call you, how they call you, how they know whom to call and what to do. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say if I am a criminal, what I will do is I will sit outside ATM machine and I will not do anything. I will not go inside. I will not tamper with ATM and nothing. What I will do is I'll wait and I will see, let's say there's a car which stops and somebody comes out of that car and goes inside to withdraw money. Now, when the person goes inside to withdraw money, I'll go to his car and on his windscreen, I will inspect. Out of 10 people who park their car and go to ATM, at least 6 to 7 cars have their phone numbers, mobile phone numbers written on them on windscreen, because in societies you park and somebody has to call you to remove your car, you put your phone number onto the windscreen written on the parking label and all those things, right? Once I have got your phone number, once you come out and you go and sit in your car and you go away, I go inside the ATM machine. Now what I do, I see if you have thrown away your slip. Out of those 8 people whose phone number I have got, let's say 2 people have withdrawn money and thrown away the slip there itself in the dustbin. Now what I need to do is I need to find out what was the time and what was the amount you have withdrawn, which will tell me whether you have enough money or not. Now what I will do is I will call you next day on a working day, 11 o'clock, assuming you are in office. And I will tell you, sir, I'm calling from the bank because I have your phone number from your car windscreen. Now I will say that, sir, you have withdrawn yesterday 10,000 rupees at 7:15 p.m. in the night, which means it is now I will think, okay, only the bank will know that I have withdrawn money. And then the trust will come. I will start trusting that this is the banking guy who is calling me because he knows what I have done. He can see my account. And then he will say, sir, your account is blocked or somebody has tried to do transaction. And then the story will go on. Here, we have given out our information to that guy ourselves. So we should not throw anything waste. There's something known as dumpster diving, where, criminals mine all the things which you are throwing away to get information. Once you get a packet delivered from Amazon, what do you do with the outer coverage? Many times we just throw it away. It contains your phone number at times, it contains your home address, lot of valuable information, right? So we throw our boarding passes that contains, again, lot of personal detail about us. So all the things which we are throwing away, all that contains lot of data, lot of important information which can be misused by criminals, right? So these kind of trust making things, greed related things are being used, and these emotions are being exploited by making stories. Let's say the last example, disruption or when RFID or FASTags became mandatory, or when demonetization happened, when the digital wallets became useful, people started to do these kind of frauds. So whenever there is a change, big change which happens in society, there are known scenarios where criminals make fake websites, they send out phishing links, and they try to exploit the unaware users who have not acted on time to get their system updated, to get their FASTag which they have issued, and all those things, and that becomes a problem, right? So what happens is emotions are the ones which are being exploited. They keep on changing story. Emotion doesn't change, but they keep on developing new stories exploiting our emotion. So the idea should be, a simple tip which I would like to give you is, whenever you are doing anything online, and if somebody is forcing you to do things fast, that means that should be a red flag. Because criminals, what they want is, they don't want you to talk to somebody. They don't want you to go and find out something on internet. They will push you that do it in 2 minutes, otherwise something will happen. If you don't act in 5 minutes, your card will be blocked. If you don't buy this scheme, the offer will go away in 2 minutes. The reason is, they're forcing you not to consult, not to go for review, not to find out whether something is wrong or not. They're pushing you so that you act fast, and that could be a trap where you will go, right? And we are also seeing a lot of technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all these new technologies being used to carry out frauds. Today, criminals can make extremely realistic synthetic videos, synthetic images, synthetic audios. What they can do is, they can take 5 of my pictures and it can make a 6 picture of mine. They can take some videos of mine which I've spoken. Let's say somebody records my talk and somebody gets access to my 10-20 talks. Now what they can do is, they can give these videos to an artificial intelligence software which can understand how I speak, and they can cut and extract and learn from these input data about me, and they can now make a new video where I'm saying something which I'm not supposed to say. So they can ask me to say threatening words which I've never said, which they can make synthetically using my videos, old videos. So emotions remains the same, but they keep on developing new stories. And in today's world, aankho dekhi and kano suni may not be true because of these reasons. As I told, synthetic videos, synthetic audio, synthetic images can be made, and they can be misused. So we should take everything with a pinch of salt. We should not believe everything which we are seeing, everything which we are hearing. We should think technology might have been used to manipulate. If there is something which we doubt, we should actually go and check out, right? We should not straight away believe anything and everything. We are treating symptoms rather than the root cause. And as an academicians, we must know some of the principles. So one principle is cause effect. If there is an effect, that means there has been a cause behind it, right? So we need to find the root cause so that we can treat it, so that the problems can be solved. Here I would like to emphasize one famous Locard's principle, which says that every contact leaves a trace. When we are doing any investigation in case of a cybersecurity incident or a cybercrime incident, this is our starting point. For example, we have got a person with a fake license, which means he has a fake license. That means that license has been printed. Now what might have happened is, the person who has been caught with a fake license, he did not have a license. He scanned his friend's license, changed photographs, changed name, and printed it. The actual license is offset printed, whereas this counterfeit license is printer printed. So no document which we use in our real world is completely computer printout. They are typically offset printout. So now what we can do is, as per Locard's principle, when the counterfeit license was printed, the printer signatures or printer defects are there in the printed license, which will not be there in the original license because they are not printed. They are offset printed. So offset is not having noise compared to printers which have a lot of noise. So we can always find out if the printed noise exists, the document is counterfeit. For example, let's say if I'm speaking and talking to you, my video is being taken by a camera, webcam, it has a sensor. So this sensor, each sensor will have some defects. My video looks perfect, but if you zoom it 100 times, you will see some defects. You will see some pixelations. So each defect is peculiar to a particular piece. So if you shoot me from 100 cameras, each image will be different, though it may look same to the eye, but you can figure out which camera has been used in generating which photograph or image on an audio through microphone. So you can identify it and do device fingerprinting. So each device which we are using in our life can be fingerprinted and uniquely identified, and that will be your starting point for any investigation. Right. So as I famously said, criminals are most creative but lazy people, right? So what they do is, if you become little difficult, if you become aware, and that means you take more time to take an action, you understand their modus operandi. Now what will happen is they will not do this fraud to you because they are in hurry. They have hundreds of people, millions of people in country who's using technology, and they want to do frauds fast and easy. So if you take time, if you become difficult for them to crack, they will leave you around. They will go to someone else and do the fraud. Right. Let me give you one example for this. How costly is an ATM machine? Let's say you come to my office and you have to pay me cash 10,000 rupees, and you are not carrying that much cash, and I do not accept that digital payment. You need to look for an ATM. You will find an ATM near my office. Let's say you insert your card and you put your PIN, and the machine says no cash. What does it mean? The machine may not be having cash. You will withdraw your card and you will go and withdraw money from some other ATM. But there are scenarios where in real world, what might have happened is that there are, somebody who has bought ATM machine in 5 lakh rupees. It's not very costly to buy an ATM machine today. So he has branded this ATM machine like SDFC or SBI and placed it outside an institute, let's say bus stop or a training institute where people keep on changing, not a fixed set of people come. Now, once people insert their card, it records the card information. Then they type their PIN, it records their PIN. Now, let's say in a day, 100 people try to use this machine. Every time people inserted card and typed their PIN, machine recorded it and gave an answer saying no cash. Now, in the night, the person can come back and take back this machine home, download all the information. He got 100 card information. He can use this information to make duplicate cards from the card reader. And then he has corresponding 100 pins. He can start withdrawing money from these 100 accounts using those pins. Now, what should you do? As a user, you don't know whether the machine is right or not right. A very simple solution. Let's say if you put your pin wrong when you go to ATM machine for the first time, what will happen in case of a good machine and a bad machine? The genuine machine, once you put your pin, will check it with the server at the back end whether your pin is correct or not. Whereas a counterfeit machine cannot connect to the back end. It will have no means to check your pin. It will only assume you're writing the right pin and it will say no cash. So if you go to an ATM machine and you put your pin wrong once, if you make it a practice and the machine says no cash, that means you should run away from that machine. Although your card is compromised, your PIN is not compromised. They can't withdraw cash. Now let's assume out of those 100 people, you are the only one who put your PIN wrong once. Now the attacker has 100 cards and 100 pins, including your PIN. When he is withdrawing money, he can withdraw money from 99 accounts. But when he tries to withdraw money with your account, with your card, your PIN is wrong. What do you think? He will try unlimited times of, different pins? No. He will leave you alone. He will put this machine again next day somewhere else, try to harvest 100 more cards, but you are safe. So if you become little difficult nut to crack, chances are nobody will do cybercrime against you. You can very easily safeguard yourself. So that is where it is very important to know the modus operandi, so that once you know the modus operandi, you can take appropriate action, you can take appropriate precaution so that you can avoid frauds, right? So there are hundreds of examples which I can tell you and give you related to creativity which people use for doing computer frauds and cyber crimes. Some of them I'm going to discuss today. Social media. I'm assuming everybody uses social media, including Facebook. Is there anybody who doesn't use Facebook? Tell me yes. Is there anybody who doesn't use Facebook? It's difficult to find that somebody, right? So I'm assuming most of us use Facebook, and then out of those, many people post photographs. Do you know what you post when you post photograph onto the social media? Whenever you post any photograph on social media, by default, it takes geolocation of the photographs. It carries with it what kind of camera has been used, whether it's an iPhone or it's Android phone, what is the resolution, what is the make and model, a lot, date and timestamps. So it will carry a lot of information about the photograph known as EXIF data. All this data is also posted onto the social media until you remove it. So one tip to you is, whenever you have to post something on social media, remove EXIF data. And there are tools which are available which can do it for you. because you should only post your photo, not anything else. Because why should you reveal your GPS location where this photograph has been taken? There is no point revealing your house location through your photographs, right? Because there are scenarios where two photographs, the first photograph celebrating at home and the another photograph going to Goa for a week, has been used, that okay, now you are going to Goa, which means the photograph where you were celebrating, that GPS location is empty. A set of people have planned to do a robbery in the house. So they are doing conventional crime using digital technology today, right? Photograph, let's say kids photograph which has been posted on the social media can reveal whether a person is having iPhone or not a phone. So in that case, the person, the kid which is whose parents have posted photography using iPhone, it becomes a prime target for kidnapping, thinking that they are having iPhone, they can afford iPhone, they have money for ransom, right? Internet and gaming addiction, this is becoming real. For young ones, this is very important to note that this is intentionally planned by the companies, that they want to design their apps, games in such a way that you remain hooked to it. They develop it in a manner, they exploit your psychology so that you can't leave them. The idea is more screen time you will spend with these apps and games, more money they will make, but it will ruin your physical and mental health. It is not good for you. We should not let technology become our master. We should use technology as a tool for making us more productive, for helping us do better, rather than we become servant and we become hooked onto these technologies, wasting our time. That is something which is bad. Free, this I'll discuss going forward. I'm skipping some of the things here. So what I want to highlight, that social media has brought people closer, but it is creating distance between people who are close to each other. So we talk to our near friends and near and dear ones and friends and family members on WhatsApp rather than going and visiting them. So you must limit usage of digital technology. You must practice something known as digital detox, so that your physical and mental well-being remains healthy, and you use technology only for your betterment and for increasing and enhancing your productivity, right? So the idea of today's talk is to change your perspective. And let's see, what can you see on the board? What can you see on the screen? Is it a puzzle or a modern art? What can you see? Please type your answer or speak up. Can you see something?
I can see lift.
Lift. L.
People can see something, right? So some people can see word here, so which is true.
L.
So if you see here, if I put these lines on, this is L,
Lift.
this is I, this is F, this is T.
Lift.
So those who could not see lift when lines were not there, even if I remove lines, you can see today, right? So the idea is human mind works very interestingly. Once it sees something, even though you remove the reference later on, it will expect that it is there. So when we know that something is there, when we are expecting something, then we can find it. But if we are not expecting, we have not seen, we are not aware, we are doing it for the first time, it is new to us, and our mind does not figure it out instantly. Same happens with cybercrime. When cyber criminals are trying to do any fraud against you, if you have heard their modus operandi beforehand, then it is very easy for you to think they are doing fraud. It becomes a red flag for you. But if you have not heard about their methodologies, their modus operandi, and you're not knowing how they are doing frauds, what happens is you are not able to capture the red flags, like you are not able to see the word. But idea of today's talk, which I appreciate your university is taking effort and college taking effort to make you more aware, and more aware you become, more better you can become in terms of preventing frauds, as well as you can find technical solutions. These frauds are also problem statements for you. You can develop interesting technical solutions to prevent these kind of crimes. So that is the whole idea. So what I have done also is, around these crimes, around these frauds which are happening, I have written a book, Cyber Unsafe, which basically contains myth busting exercise, which tells you what is wrong, what is right. It tells you all these things in very easy to read language, interesting stories, small stories, and some non-technical tips and technical problems which you can probably take up as intern, and as well as projects and research ideas. So it will stimulate your mind to develop better solutions. It will help you prevent currently prevailing cyber crimes. I've written it with my younger sister, Dr. Garima Gupta, who is an expert in psychology and education. It is available on Amazon. Maybe post talk, I will post the link in the chat box. Can somebody read it loud and fast for me? It is part of my book. Can somebody unmute and read loud and fast?
So shall I go?
Yeah, please.
I couldn't believe that I could actually understand what I was reading. Using the incredible power of the human mind, according to research at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. The rest can be a total mess and you can still read it without a problem. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Amazing, huh? Yeah. And I always thought spelling was important.
See, now you
No.
referred, see, you could read everything. Probably a 5-year-old would not be, a 5-year-old who can read English will not be able to read it. You know the difference? The difference is human mind is very creative, very intelligent. Over a period of time, once it learns something, it puts all those things in their subconscious brain. So it's like driving. You know, once you are driving, learning driving, you're very stiff, you follow the protocol. And once you learn driving, it is automatically happening. It's like if I ask you which leg you put first when you wake up in the morning from the bed, you all do it every day from last 30, 40, 50 years, but you have to think which leg you put first because it is happening subconsciously. So now all these things which are happening subconsciously help criminals. So let me just go to one slide number 1, which I started with. If you see here, the fourth one, because you are able to read that fluently, the paragraph which you just read, most people in a normal scenario, if they get an email from gaurav@ognc.co.in, they will not read it at OGNC. They will read gaurav@ongc.co.in because your mind is intelligent and it is ignoring the mistakes and it is adding some information which is not there. It is correcting autocorrect. So, that is the impact of technology and intelligence, which is also being leveraged by criminals. Now, what also happens is, I can give you examples where technology is making us numb. Now, if I ask you, how many phone numbers can you recall? How many phone numbers can you recall? 1, 2, 3, 5, or 10? I'm sure most people will fall in the range of 1 to 5. Nobody will say 10 phone numbers he can recall, right? But 20 years, earlier in 2001, when we had mostly landline phones, if you ask somebody when mobile phones were not there where you can store numbers, people knew phone numbers like 10, 15, 20 also. So this digital technology in case of phones has making our memory numb. Spellings. Today, people have more problem with spellings compared to earlier times because we have autocorrect. Since autocorrect can correct the spellings, we don't care about spellings. We can see direction on the map, Google Maps. Hence, we are now forgetting to have the direction sense, right? So technology is actually slowly giving us more convenience, but also making our senses dumb. So the idea is use technology. So if you know the way, use your brain to go to that particular place. Only use Google Map when you are extremely stuck or only for the last mile connectivity rather than the complete thing. Because if you don't use your brain power, slowly it becomes not that good. It becomes to degrade, and technology is doing that. So we should use technology only as a top up, only as an enhancer, not to ruin our own intelligence. Right, I'm skipping 1 or 2 slides. So I have discussed social media. Social media is fun for most of us, but it depends because you post photographs can be misused for doing a lot of activities. Social media tracks you. How much. So let's say if I ask you, what were you doing 2 years back or 1 year back, exactly the same time. So in 2021, exactly at today's date and today's time, what were you doing? Can somebody tell me? At this point, what were you doing 1 year back? I can tell you if you share me your Google username and password, because Google records everything. On social media, because we are not going anywhere without our phone. So if you will actually be freaking out if you go to this website, which is takeout.google.com. You log into your Gmail, go to takeout.google.com. Typically 5 to 10 GB data about you is there. It will have timeline of when you went where, how much time you stayed there, what did you eat, everything is there. Now, what should you do? I will tell you what I do. I go to Google Takeout every now and then. I let it record data because that is useful for me also at times. But I download it and keep me in an offline manner and delete it from there. Can you tell me why? Reason is very simple. I will also tell you one more important thing is, let's say if I hack your, let's say you are logged into your Google on your phone. Let's say you have logged into Gmail on your phone and I happen to snatch your phone when you were working on the phone. That means your phone is on and I have snatched it and ran away. Now I can change the password of your Gmail because I can initiate a request and it will send me an SMS. Since your phone is with me, by the time you block it, I will get SMS. I will log into Gmail and change your password, change your phone number, change your secondary email ID, change your security question in Gmail. Then I will change everything. Now what happens is you can't log in. You can't reclaim your account. Can you tell me what will you do in this case? Anyone? Is there a solution? Once somebody compromises your account like this, your digital identity is gone and compromised by somebody, what will you do? You can't go to Google and ask, give me an account back. It's a very tedious process. It will take months. And then also it may or may not happen. I'll tell you a very easy solution today. You know, there is something known as offline codes. You go to Google and in the password settings, security settings, there you can download offline codes. Once you download these offline codes, there are 16 codes of 16 digit each valid for one login. Now, if I have compromised your account, you can still log in using those codes in your account and I cannot disable those. Google does not allow disabling of offline codes at all. Even though I have compromised your account, you also can log in and then you can log me out. You can change settings and do whatever you wish. So I strongly recommend you to download offline codes after my talk, because that is the only way you can go back to your Gmail account in case it has been compromised. Now, in case your account is compromised and if you have not deleted this data from takeout.google.com, a criminal can download it and now he will know your history. What have you done? Where have you been? What are you doing? What are the patterns? Where do you go often? So it will be very bad, right? Your private data will be leaked. So ideally, every now and then you should go to takeout.google.com, download this data, or else disable tracking. Both the things you should consider seriously doing. Otherwise, this data is useful for criminals. It is useful for law enforcement agencies also to know about criminals, right? So people think and ask me many times whether one can be trained for investigating computer frauds and cybercrime. Answer is yes, but you require some kind of bootstrapping. That means you require some specialized course. So if you're doing your bachelor's and master's in computer science or related areas, you can be trained. You might have to do a 3-month or 6-month specialized course on digital forensics. But even though you have done it, you need experience and you need more reading, because technology changes fast. New problems will come, which means you have to develop new solutions. You have to read about new solutions developed by other people. And that is where constant updation, constant reading and research is required. But this is a very lucrative area. We have demand supply gap. You know, we have more number of people who are required, who know about how to do cybersecurity and digital forensics, but that many people are not there. So if you do and make your career in this area, it's not only easy because there is less competition, only few people are doing it. There are more chances that you will get higher salary, better reputation, better prestige, and a better job and better career if you work in this area. There are opportunities both in private and government and academia who are having expertise in the area of cybersecurity as well as now digital forensics. Right. So okay, this is interesting. You know, this many people think and must be knowing. If I say press delete and data is gone, do you think it is gone? No, it is not gone. Let's say if I do shift delete, is it gone? If I do, instead of shift delete, I format it, is it gone? Yes or no? If I format the hard disk, is data gone?
What have to do with this format?
So most people will not know. So let me tell you. So if you delete data, I can get it in seconds. If you do a shift delete, I can get back in minutes. If you do format and repartitioning, I can get it in few, again, minutes or maybe in hours. If you overwrite data, if you break open hard disk, then also I can get data back maybe in few days. The cost and the time and the energy will increase, It will be little difficult, but I can get it back. It is believed that the spacecraft which was coming back carrying Kalpana Chawla, which got disintegrated, from their debris, they got a partly melted hard drive from which they could recover 90% of data. And once you can recover 90% data, you can use this technique, which I just showed you, this one, to reconstruct it. If I get data and data is jumbled, I can always apply intelligence, creativity to make it complete by using intelligent algorithm to autocorrect it. So, data once created remains. It is very serious thing, right? So what I suggest people is the data once created will always remain. So the only recovery depends on the capability, knowledge, skills, resources, and the motivation of the person who wanted it back. If you really want it back, you have enough money and manpower and resources, you can always get it back. Hence, what we do? We all create digital data. We create data on phone, on hard disk, on computers, on emails. We should be very careful. If you make any piece of electronic data which can, put you in problem, like an objectionable photograph or a threatening text or anything like that, right? If you are writing to somebody which is not right, if you are taking photographs and creating videos which are objectionable, all that can haunt you. So the piece of advice which I want to give you is never create a piece of electronic data. It could be a video, audio, or text, which you do not want to, come back and haunt you. Because if you don't want to retain forever, if you want to, you think that you can create it for a short period and delete it, it will not happen. Once you create, it will remain and it will haunt you. I don't know for how long. So better is not to create. Right, date and timestamp of digital data is authentic and reliable. That is what people think. It is not the case. They can very easily be tampered, and tampering is as easy writing small tools which can change it. For example, this one, using APIs, you can develop a small tool which can change date and timestamp of whatever you want. I want to change creation date. I can select it here, and whatever date I want, I can set. Meaning to it. So all these things are real and they are happening, and we must be careful. We think criminals are techo geeks. No, criminals are not techo geeks. Anybody and everybody who knows a little bit of internet can download tools and can do frauds. Social engineering is very common. I'm not going in detail. There are examples given in that book which I just spoke about. Keyloggers are being used, both software and hardware keyloggers, and we don't care about hardware keylogger. We only care about software keyloggers which come through viruses, and I will explain that. Design flaws. This is interesting. Many times things are designed in a way that it leaves some kind of opportunity for criminals. For example, let me show you something. This is example of bad design. This is a screenshot of 2009 of Google Gmail, where I said I cannot access my account. I went to say I forgot my password, and then I can write any email ID. Let's say Gaurav.Gupta. It's a valid email ID. Even if I write Gaurav.Sharma 2009, it was a valid email ID. So Google at that point of time was not having secondary email, the phone number as a option to reset password, because phones were not with everybody. Penetration of phone was not 100% in the country. And secondary email ID was also not activated by many people. Only few people activated it. So Google being Google, it used to ask you a question, the secret question. And people being people, they were so honest, they were writing correct answers. So they were writing answers as favorite color, white, blue, green. So if I start writing all colors one by one of them will be right, and I will reach to a point where I can reset the password. Right? So this was a bad design, because Yahoo and Redis were also asking your PIN code, date of birth, something else, which was not easy to guess. I cannot guess somebody's date of birth randomly, whereas Google was not asking it. So that was a bad design at that point of time. Now they changed it later on. I also reported to them at that point of time. So, identity thefts are also happening. I'm not going in detail. There are many ways identity thefts happen. I think you can go back and read the book which I've written, which contains a lot of information about how identity thefts happen and what to do to stop them. Anti-forensics also happens. I'm skipping. I've discussed about internet and online gaming. It is real. We should actively ensure our young ones are not spending a lot of time, because they take selfies at a dangerous location to get more likes. We have to tell them that, okay, all these things matter up to a point only. We should not go mad about it, that okay, we should get more likes, we should see more videos. We should have limited screen time, limited digital time, and then we should do a digital detox. So in today's world, survival of the most aware is the mantra. If we are not aware, we will not survive. Frauds will happen against us, right? UPI frauds are happening. Free is something which is very interesting, which is being misused by criminals a lot. They will give you free so that you become their customer. Juice jacking. Let's say if you are traveling to airport and your phone is about to die, battery is about to go. So what we do, we have a mad rush to find some kind of charging points, and charging points are not there in most of these places for security reasons. They have very limited ones. Rather, they have charging kiosks where they have some service provider giving out multiple cables through which you can charge. Should you charge your phone using these cables? Answer probably is no. Reason is, if you put your phone and connect to these cables which are coming out from a box, they might install a virus, they might install a malware or a ransomware, or they can extract data from your phone. So what should you do? So what I do, I can tell. What I do is I carry a power bank. So I charge my power bank from those cables and then charge my phone using the power bank. And if I'm not having a power bank, I switch off my phone and then charge. Because if your phone is switched off, nothing can be installed, nothing can be extracted from it, right? So there are frauds like, people, when they're coming out of a shopping mall, in the parking lot near their car door, there are USB drives. Some companies give USB drives for free when you are going for some kind of conferences. All these pen drives or USB drives, which you are getting for free or accidentally you are getting, they contain malware, they contain virus. And if you connect them to your own computers or networks, your computers and networks become infected. So anything free Wi-Fi, free power supply for your phones, free USBs, all these are dangerous. We should be very careful about it, right? Hardware keyloggers. So how many of you have gone back and checked your CPU backside? Because CPU backside, there are a lot of wires which you're connecting, monitor cable, keyboard, mouse, and there are a lot of USB ports there. So let's say if I'm a visitor, which come to you to meet, and you go out for a minute, what I will do is I will have a small pen drive kind of device which I will attach at the back of your CPU, which will now record anything you type and keep sending it to me through your internet, and you will never know. Do we check? No. So ideally, you should also do checking of your hardware environment, especially the backside of your CPU, to find out if anybody has installed hardware keylogger or not, right? So I tell people that, prevention is better than cure is also applicable in digital world. It's not that we have to be careful only in the physical world. Along with the threat of the pandemic, we should, along with washing our hands and putting mask on, we should also make sure that we remain safe in digital world. We don't do any activity which can make ourselves more vulnerable for computer frauds and cyber crimes, right? So these are some of the conferences which I like. I recommend people to go to these places. So once upon a time, it used to be the case that if you were wealthy, you were more immune to crime. But cyber crime has tipped it in another way. If you are more wealthy, you have more devices, more touch points electronically, which means criminals will go after you through those touch points and those devices and exploit your privacy, your money, and put you into a cyber threat. Right, so I encourage each one of you to visit. This is available on Amazon and Flipkart. You can see reviews, and it contains very easy to read stories which can help you become more aware. I've only talked about tip of the iceberg because otherwise I can keep on going. It will be 2-3 hour session or 4 hour session. So I encourage you to read through the book, which can help you become more aware, as well as get more ideas about what to do academically. I would be willing to help you in terms of your projects and ideas. Government funds a lot of startups. I would like to help you in terms of if you want to find out internship and project ideas and let's say thesis ideas in the area of computer frauds and cybercrime investigation, you can reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. I'm already mentoring some of the students. With this, I would like to open myself to questions if you have any. And I'll post the link of the book as well as my LinkedIn profile link on the chat box. You are, you may want to connect with me and you may want to browse the book. I'm open to questions now.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
Vibha ma'am will take a few students' question and then we'll come to you to wrap it up, if that's all right.
Yes, ma'am, please. We want them to ask questions actually.
Yes. I think Harman has raised a hand.
Yes,
Anmol, you
ma'am.
can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Uh, Hello, sir. So I wanted to
Yes.
ask you how to avoid ads on the phone. Like if we search something, so automatically I get ads related to that product. So how to prevent those ads?
See, you are using all these things for free. When you are using something for free, you are the product. That means they want your data. If you don't give your data, they will not let you use their application. So the idea is you log in through a dummy email ID. You log in through using incognito browser or window so that you can't be tracked. You know, there are safe browsers like DuckDuckGo. There's a browser named as DuckDuckGo, which allows non-tracking of your data. It does not let people track you. So if you want to remain anonymous, limit your usage of internet, both using privacy preserving, browsers and applications like DuckDuckGo. Use incognito window, as well as do not log into your email IDs or Gmails. Then you can't be tracked. You will be tracked, but only some information will go about you. But if you are using a normal browser, you are logged into a Gmail, they are making a profile for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, I had a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, day before yesterday, I came over a fraud which was done by a CISF officer named Bablu Kumar. And sir, I had seen a lot of similar frauds on Chrome. People have reported it and submitted FIRs. Also, they have put that on Twitter. But most of them are saying that they have got no response from the government sides or the police sides or the cyber cell sides. Also, when I tried calling the cyber fraud helpline number of Uttar Pradesh, they said that it is getting called to Uttarakhand and they can't take any action against that.
Okay, let me tell you.
Sir,
Let me
why
help you
is
on this.
government lacking in such a big way?
So first of all, let's say if somebody gets cancer, can you say why he got cancer? Probably difficult, right? So God has a plan. So in digital world, not everything is solvable. That is point one. Second is there is a website known as cybercrime.gov.in where you can go and report case sitting at home. You don't have to go anywhere, and automatically it will be given to respective state police station for taking action. It can't happen that if you file a complaint there, it will not be taken up. You don't even have to go anywhere. So go to cybercrime.gov.in and report. Third is, we can't give all the responsibility to only government. We as a responsible citizen also have to be careful. So many of these frauds which you're talking about are happening because of the carelessness of the user. So as you are attending today's talk, you become little more aware. Maybe you read the book, you become little more aware. Chances are you can avoid 80 to 90% of the crimes. And for rest of the crimes, if you go to cybercrime.gov.in and report, they are going to take action. Problem is you are not reaching out to the right set of people. If you go to normal police station, they probably may not be equipped. You have to reach out to the right people. Similarly, if there is a financial fraud, the first thing you should do is to call up 155260. This is a national number for each state.
That was the number I called. It doesn't work for Uttar Pradesh.
So that's what I'm saying. If you write a complaint on cybercrime.gov.in and call 155260, both of these together will act in most of the cases. In some of the cases where there is no information, at times criminals are very smart. They are using VPNs, they are using Tor browsers. It becomes little difficult to, track them. But I can tell you that if you are aware, 90% crimes will not happen because these crimes are only happening when you are giving out your data. You are doing something wrong. You are not finding out the red flags. So user cannot say that everything has to be done by government only. You also need to take precaution. It's like if you say I'm eating whatever I want to eat, but I don't want to be fat, I don't want to exercise, government should do something so that I lose weight. Not possible. It is a duty of all the stakeholders together to ensure cyber safety and ensure the safety in the cyber world.
Is there any other question?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to have a question answered. So, during an online transaction through either a debit or credit card, we often have seen that there are cases of online fraudsters who are mining unwanted sites through which they are getting a it is a fake site. And so how to know whether a site is fake or it is real?
Very
Because
easy. It's very easy. It's very easy. So if somebody is giving you 90% discount, chances are it is fake. Second is, if you really want to make you remain safe, don't go to a website which is offering you too much of discount and you have not heard his name. So third is, whenever you are getting a great deal, before completing transaction, search about it on Google, because somebody else might have been defrauded already. They write it about it. When something goes wrong, people write everywhere. So if you go and check the reviews of a product on a particular website, and the website is new, you will find a lot of reviews in reviews websites saying these are fraud, don't do action. Problem is, we become greedy. We want to take this 1 minute deal which will expire in 1 minute, and we don't do investigation completely. That's where the frauds happen.
Shozab, Zaidi has had a hand raised for a while. Shozab, could you ask your question?
Ma'am, I have already asked. Thank you.
You asked. All right, your hand. You can lower your hand.
Yeah, he was the one, ma'am, who was asking the question.
No question, ma'am.
Yes.
Sir, if we lose our phone, what, like, how can we get it back? Like, other than the tracking stuff, like, do you have some loopholes to get it back?
So again, it's a good question. First of all, you should know, once you lose the phone, what will you do? What will be the first step to prevent misuse? See, handset getting back is next to impossible. Reason is, the manufacturers don't want you to get it back. They have made IMEI number as well as the other numbers which are there in the phones. They can be programmatically changed. So which means now it can be changed once your phone is lost. The first thing criminal will do is change the IMEI number of the device so that it can't be tracked. So, the best possible scenario is, if you lose your phone and you don't lose your data, that is a better scenario. So always keep your phone locked and encrypted. That is one. Second is, once you lose your phone, apart from the hardware loss, you will have more losses, which is, let's say if I am the criminal, if I get hold of your phone, what will I do? First of all, I will take out the SIM. I'll put this SIM into a new phone and call up my friend to know what is the number. And then on the phone where I have put this SIM in, I will install WhatsApp using your number, because the message will also come. And I now have your WhatsApp running on my phone. I have numbers stored, your numbers which you have stored in the SIM. I will send out money request to all these people saying you have met an accident. This is a Paytm number. Please pay money so that the treatment can be started. As soon as I set up this message, I will now take out the SIM and throw it away. So now neither the SIM can be tracked nor the phone can be tracked. Only a number is there on your status message on which people might be transferring money. So first thing you should do is, as soon as you lose your phone, using your other family member's phone, inform your relatives and friends that your phone is stolen. If you get any request from me on social media or for money, don't do it. Second is, you should block your SIM. And then I think expecting that you will get hardware back, the phone instrument back, it is 1 in 1 million case when it is possible, when a no voice criminal has stolen it. Otherwise, most people will take it to a service center and ask them to remove and change the IMEI number. So don't worry about hardware, worry more about what more can go wrong and stop that from happening by reporting and blocking your SIM, and reporting to all of your friends and family members that do not act for any request which is coming from my number for next 4 hours or 5 hours.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other
So I have
questions?
posted the link of the book in the chat box as well as my LinkedIn profile link. I would encourage you to connect with me. I keep posting information which is relevant in this area, and I will be happy to help in case you need some help and guidance.
Vibha ma'am, if you could also ask something that could help us understand these things a little better.
Sir, yeah, definitely, ma'am, because sir really gave us very good information about the darker side of digital, which we say we are, like, if you look at our accounts, our time, our free will, everything is being hacked if we look at it properly, if I talk about in that terms. Sir, there's something I wanted to speak to them, because I've been talking to my students in the classes anyway about something. We talked about the cyber criminals right now, but most of these students also don't know that there's some acts can make them criminals in one go. Like something like which we've been talking about is, one is a part where most of the students are doing with the thing is a misinformation they have and they post it. Fake news which they are doing it, naughty pictures which they feel of their friend, their family, they just post it. They don't think about it. Teachers, they're doing it with everyone. Because if you see many of these pictures on their Facebook profiles, like we have been monitoring some of them, some of the students, because we came to know about them, so we were monitoring the pictures they posted about their friends, and with the taglines they had given. In US, same students, Indian students, had been given a blacklisted thing because of those pictures. And even the employers also had done the similar thing. The one is hateful speech, bad language. They're stealing of the copyright materials, which they do quite often with each one of us. This makes, I just want to convey to all of them, this makes all of you criminals. Sir is giving you a knowledge about.
Absolutely. So what happens is, to get visa for various countries, including US, they do social media profiling of yours, and employers do a background check in terms of using your social media handles to find out what have you done in past. So anything which makes your profile not suitable for them, including the reputation of the company, they don't take you in that case. So make sure that you act sensibly in digital world. Do not do anything which can ruin your, as I told you, do not create any digital text messages, videos, audios, and social media posts which can haunt you, because you can't remove them later on. These people have access at the back end also of these companies and can go and verify your profile.
And specifically the dresses, like all of boys and girls, if you're wearing some dresses which are not appropriate, please post. Don't. This is like I'm giving a very like red signal to this. Drunk pictures of yours, smoking pictures of yours. We all think it's we are sanskari. Why your mother tells you your sanskari part is for this reason. You'll realize it later on why these pictures are not to be posted online. Sir will explain you about this, and the other parts that I want to talk to you, tell them about is something which is the obscene language. Because if you see their Instagram profiles, you see their Facebook profiles, the younger generation is abusing each other so badly. Actually, the extreme thing which they're doing is with the dangerous political views, because they don't understand. A comment on any of the political parties which they are making very loosely are taken very seriously by the government. Maybe they're in the college. The action is not being taken, but there are some people who have faced a very bad weather because of this. So just if you tell this thing, I keep on telling them, but this is
I think it's not about me or you. I'm telling you that if you will face problems in future if you are not careful of what you are doing today in digital world, everywhere, at home, using Gmail or using any kind of social media, anything and everything which you are doing, even you are sending WhatsApp message to one-on-one, that also can be recovered. You might have seen in very famous celebrity cases, 5-year-old chats can be recovered. So anything which is creating a digital trail is recoverable and will be used against you later on, where you will not have any control to bring it.
And somebody spoke about, I think Harman spoke about, ma'am, Alexa, I get ads and all that. I'll tell you, these ads, please don't click those ads, because these ads take you directly to the pornographic websites. And many of these ads are actually planned like that. It could be a simple ad of your eatery around your house, and you feel he's giving you a 1+1 offer, but that will take you to a pornographic site, which will land you with, again, the cyber cell. I think Shoaib pointed out that cyber cell is not active. It is active, but the kind of, if you just visit the cyber cell, if somebody wants to, I'll take you to the cyber crime office in Mumbai, where we work in Bandra. Then you'll understand the amount of cases they get every day, and it's very difficult to handle them, because each one, every person, whoever comes there, we later on tell them that it is your negligence. Why did you do it? If you in a normal world, we all are listening to everything, but the thing is that it is our mistake, which sir also pointed out. We have to be cautious about it, and one is, first, don't post, don't click. Understand this click which you are doing. Think twice before just putting your hand on your mobile phone and your laptops or whatever, before doing anything, whatever it is. Careful,
And
which sir has pointed out.
About cybercrime. Read about how people are being defrauded. Find out all possible resources where you can read, and try to now solve the problem. Try to develop solutions which can not only help you, can also help others.
Okay. Yes, sir. Definitely. I'll post a link for one of the websites which government has created. Yeah, cybergov.gov.in is a website where you can complain. But there's a new website which government has come. It has been there for long, but people were not aware of it. It's called infosex.awareness cyber. It is related to everyone. As a woman, you get steps how you can, what you should follow. As a student, you can do it. As a teacher, before we finish it off, I'll just put it in the chat box. All of you, please do visit that website because it's a great awareness site about present scenario, news, information, frauds, deep fakes, which sir talked about artificial intelligence. There's something which is deep fakes, which all of you should understand because it's a new industry which has just developed in last 3 months in the students scenario, this thing, because students are now doing the deep fakes thing. In US, they have found out. In India, we are trying to do it because 2 university students, we have got hold of that, who are doing the deep fake thing, changing their teachers' images and using it for something else. So this was just a checkpoint, but thank you so much, sir, for such a good information and such a relevant information. Like in spite of whatever it is, your book also, yes, yeah, all of you, I have read his book, a really lovely book, and he's written it in a very good thing because he's debunked all the myths. It's not a book as such as a technical book. It's a simple book with cases from Times of India, most of the newspapers, and written very well. So all of you can read that book to gain more information. You can go to this website, but not taking any more of your time. I just wanted all of you to be cautious that you don't become cyber criminals. That was because there's lots of laws which we haven't discussed. Small mistakes you do and you will come under the legal purview. So just be cautious about that part. And thank you so much, sir. We are not going to take much time because already it's too much of time, but I want to thank sir for giving us so much of our time. Ma'am, you can wrap it up now. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope, please connect with me on LinkedIn and read the book. And you can write to me for whatever help you require. I will be happy to mentor students.
I think there are still questions people want to ask, but since it is a little delayed, we will see if we can adjust that. Shozab, maybe you can type it while Smita ma'am delivers a vote of thanks. And before that, Principal Sir, Pratibha ma'am, and teachers who are here, if there is maybe a short question that we can take. Otherwise, we can proceed to the vote of thanks. Shozab, please type your question in the chat box. So sir can also read it and look at it maybe. Smita ma'am, perhaps we can go ahead with the vote of thanks.
Yes. Thank you, Nina ma'am. Good afternoon, one and all. I would like to make a mention that we have posted the feedback link in the chat box. All are requested to fill up the feedback. So I, Mrs. Smita Ravindranath, member of internal committee of the college, would like to take this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks for today's webinar titled Cyber Unsafe. I express my sincere gratitude and thanks to our wonderful resource person, Dr. Gaurav Gupta, for devoting time for us out of his busy schedule and giving us this fabulous session. Sir, the concepts explained by you will definitely help us in our personal as well as professional life and make us more secured in this digital world. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vibha ma'am, for being part of our IC and always guiding us in all our activities. Heartfelt gratitude to our benevolent management for providing us with all the necessary permission, support, and infrastructure required for all our endeavors. We are very much thankful to our principal, sir, Dr. Sridhara Shetty, for always leading us from the front and being our source of inspiration. Thanks to our Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Liji Santosh ma'am, and Vice Principal Assistant Professor Sandesha Shetty sir, for being the backbone and motivation for all our activities and events. Thank you, Vice Principal Junior College Pratibha Gadgali ma'am, for joining us for this session. Special thanks to all our participants, students, as well as teachers for joining us for this session. Last but not the least, all the members of the internal committee who worked as a team to put forward the session successfully. Thank you so much. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Smita ma'am. If we could have everyone's video on, at least some people, so we could click one picture and request everyone to fill in the feedback form so that we know what you thought of it, and it could help us organize more useful sessions. Dr. Gupta, wonderful to listen to you. A very nice session. I wish we could also give time to all the students who had questions. I hope you enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed discussing because, that is my mission, to make sure that frauds don't happen. If more people will know about it, less frauds will happen. And I encourage each one of you to tell your family and friends that, okay, this is how frauds happen, so that it does not happen to them also.